Welcome, horrible people, to the Horrible Opinions podcast. As always, I'm your very literate host, Kenny.
I'm a crab, Daniel.
I'm disappearing inch by inch into your ear, Ryan.
Inch by inch. Look who's bragging.
Can I just read a excerpt real quick?
Before I tell them what we're doing?
Before you tell them what we're doing. Because maybe they'll like, oh, I recognize this from one of my favorite books.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
She still had a grip on his hardness, and now she was guiding it down where she wanted it, bathing it first in her warm river of desire, and then sliding it down further until it disappeared inch by inch into her. Which 50 Shades of Grey book is that from?
That would be the 1976 50 Shades of Grey book titled Night of the Crabs, written by its original series author, Guy N. Smith.
The man, the legend.
The myth, who is dead and died in 2020 in December.
This is going to be one of the times where I say, I really wish we could talk to him because I have questions
really cool.
that he needs to. I have accusations that he needs to address.
Accusations?
Yeah.
Did you fuck a crab?
Have you ridden a crab? What's your beef with beachcombing homeless people? Have you ever free dived before? So many questions.
So he died in December 24th, 2020, with complications related to COVID-19.
Oh my God.
It takes another good one.
But I hadn't done much research on him personally yet. I wasn't going to do that until we were ready to record. And
now was naturally the right time for you to start doing research.
I always have more research going on. But I had an interaction on Twitter with another author who was potentially working with him on a return to his Crabs books.
Ooh.
And I thought that was cool because I really like this author.
Can you name drop? Who was it?
Yeah, William Michael.
2 first names.
Yeah, that's true. The Michael spelled a little bit differently, and plus I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
So
so who knows? Yes. Well, I'm talking to him, and he brought up he was talking about a book of his called Crustaceans, and I go, oh, that's really cool. And it mentioned on a quick blog post that it was inspired by and dedicated to Guy N. Smith. And I'm like, well, that's really timely because we're about to record this. So he's like, well, yeah, fun fact is we were actually going to work on a new book in the Crab series called Crabs the Return. And it's like, we even have a mock-up of what that would have looked like with, both their names on there. It's like, but for timing reasons, Guy had deadlines and stuff to hit. We weren't able to get it done after doing the outline. So William finished Crustaceans on his own. And you'll see in the bibliography for Guy, he does get out Killer Crabs to Return. So it's not exactly the same title, but essentially the same title. So anyway, I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. And I go, well, hopefully you guys can collaborate soon on a book. And then he pointed out that Guy died 2 years ago. And I'm like, oh, my bad. And I was like, well, perhaps as we do this Crab series, we'll also throw in your Crustaceans book.
We should have brought a Ouija board out too, and then we could speak to him now.
Knowing this guy, it'd probably work. Well, then I was like, well, your Crustaceans book, that's new, so it'll be pretty easy to find. So maybe we'll add that on the end there. And he's like, well, that came out in 2012. I'm like, what?
God damn.
So I'm like, I'm 0 for 2 here.
You are not taking this guy home from the bar. You are just swinging and missing all over the place.
Yeah.
You are not going on a crab watching beach walk with him. It's just not happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty funny though. I owned up to it. I was like, well, that's my bad. I was like, I'll go grab 2 more of your more recent books. I owe you that at least. Plus, they're in the series that I didn't realize he had recently wrote more books in. So that's exciting. Me making a fool of myself is always exciting.
That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
It's cool. He, he didn't hate me. He followed me after the interaction, and I don't mean followed me home to murder me. Also, fun fact, and this might surprise you, Guy N. Smith has a collection of softcore pornography
I'm
books.
not surprised.
Not surprised.
Yeah, it's the Sexy Confessions
I feel like
series.
this was a step away from like a Cinemax movie that like a softcore porn movie that just so happened to have crabs in it.
I don't think there's enough titillation. This book.
No, he held himself back. He held him, but there's a draft of this that exists. That the editor was like, you remember they're supposed to be crabs. Oh shit. Yeah.
What if it turns out that he literally wrote one of his softcore pornography books and he's just staring at it and he's like, you know what? Crabs. I just started popping them in there.
So it's like Jane Austen, but with crab.
Hot.
Well, from what I hear, that's just Jane Austen.
Ooh.
Yeah. Literary dirt being thrown around here. Okay. Night of the Crabs. We're doing our first book, fellas. Let's
Yeah, I noticed on the description of our podcast we claimed that we talk about movies, books, and games.
We've talked about no games and no books.
We've given game recommendations.
Yeah, but we've
given book recommendations.
Right, but we've never done like an episode on Dead Space or like
sure, that's
PT
hard.
Or like any of that
that's
stuff.
That's scary. My heart can't take it.
Stay tuned for season 2. So who wants to hit us with that sweet, sweet synopsis?
So, this is a story about giant crabs. Now, we kind of get a slight Jaws tease at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Where we're introduced to a newly fiancéed couple, Julie and Ian, who go out for a little swim, and they get got by something in the water, and then Ian's uncle, Professor Cliff fucking Davenport.
The names in this so good.
Who I'm pretty sure is a botanist, comes down to investigate what happened. Immediately determines giant crabs. Finds a woman about 10 years younger than him to agree with him.
You say 10 years, I'm thinking like 20, 30.
No, we can get into how old it is,
they were within 5.
I pictured him as old.
They run amok. Okay, no, he's described as being in his late 30s.
He's
already widowed, but late 30s. Well, he lost his wife in an incident, Daniel. You should appreciate this.
Then again, this is like, what, 70s? This is like 30s in the 70s. Dude might as well be 60 years old.
Well, he probably like chain smokes. He's from the UK, so
he's
drinking.
Leather, skin's all leathery. There's no moisturizing.
I mean, he might have had to have fought in the war.
Which one?
I would guess WW2.
The one that pitted brother against brother, Daniel. You know the one.
He was probably a kid. If he's in his 30s, I guess he'd probably be a kid.
Well, no, if he's in his 30s, then he's an adult. I'm pretty sure even in the 70s, like a 30-year-old was an adult, not a kid.
Yes, but World War II was not in the 70s.
You might know that. I don't know that.
Do Nazis still suck?
In the 70s? You know what? They probably sucked more in the 70s than they do now.
I think they probably suck more in any other time period than they do now.
There are no Nazis in this book.
Well, hold on. This
I bet they show up in the series.
We don't know what this
point.
crab's agenda was.
He did throw up a white power fist at one point and then backed into the ocean. Look, all I'm saying is I pictured this as a strapping young Professor Indiana Jones type, just, English Indiana Jones.
I pictured him a little bit fatter.
I think he starts the series
a little more muscular,
fatter,
a little more rotund, a little bit rounder, but still athletic, but not Harrison Ford.
I was picturing Sean Connery.
Okay, well, all right.
Yes. I thought about doing a bad Sean Connery voice, and I'm still gonna do it. Okay, look. First off,
talk to me.
I'm just gonna say this book is great.
I was gonna smash your pass. What are we doing?
We're smashing it. So, the cover of my book says in the style or in the tradition of The Rats.
I believe he also wrote that.
No, that was James Herbert.
Oh no, are you sure?
Fool.
Okay, Guy and Smith has 1,000 books. Are you sure he did not write?
He does
not write one called The Rats. Check it.
No, he doesn't. Well, if he does, he's totally taken off of that. But no, the Rats came out like 2 years before this. He has a short werewolf series. I'm very interested. He also wrote some Disney books.
Now, when you say short werewolf stories, you're talking like they're not the length of the story, but the werewolves themselves are like Danny DeVito size.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm a fucking werewolf.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean there's only 3 novels in that series, and then a short story called Spawn of the Werewolf. First is the Crab series has like 12 books. So a short series.
We've started a little journey.
Reading one book, I want a Guy in Smith's cinematic universe. This would work. I would watch the shit out of these. You could have Trauma do it. I don't even care. It's gonna be great because we got throbbing members, we got big meaty crabs, we got the British military might, we got tea, we got smoking, we got the booze,
so much booze.
we got blood, guts, and tits and ass. It's got everything you want. That was Night of the Crabs.
Daniel, what do you think?
This is good.
Oh my god.
What?
Are you willing to commit yourself to reading more of these?
Yeah, I'll read more. If they all only take an hour and a half to read.
I don't know if I'll be able to find them all physically to buy, because if I recall, I found the first one for a good deal, like $20 or so. But after that, the rest of them were getting up to like $80, $100.
You got to check out the thrift stores.
Yeah, I'll see if any of the libraries have them for available for digital.
I think Amazon has some of them on.
Yeah, that might be what I have to do.
I imagine they'd be on any other e-reader that you find. All right, let's talk about our first introduction to the mystery that's happening.
Well, do you want to do
Shell Island?
Your stupid quesquestions?
Oh no, I'll sprinkle them in if we run out of things to talk about. Okay, all right. Well, the first question really is, if you one thing you can ask Guy and Smith one thing about this story, what do you want to ask him?
Is he the professor?
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
Did he write himself? Does he see himself as the character?
Okay. I think that's 100%. I think that's a dumb question.
Daniel thinks it speaks for itself, inch by inch.
Well, let's see here. Personal life. He's a lifelong pipe smoker. He actually won the British Pipe Smoking Championship in 2003.
What the fuck is that?
You know what it is, bitch. Yeah. Collected pipes and smoking ephemera, and also wrote a book on tobacco called Tobacco Culture, a DIY guide. He was also an active pro-smoking campaigner. Later in his life, Smith lived near Clun, Shropshire. In his last 2 years, he was embezzled of 2,400 pounds by a former cleaning woman who came to manage his finance.
2,400? That's not that much.
I don't know, man. But him and his wife, they had 4 kids, so he was a professional smoker. She's her age is not listed.
I don't like the judgment in your tone, Daniel.
Yeah. All I'm saying is the man smoked so well, he was a professional.
I don't know how that.
So to me, like over here, we've got like Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg for the pot. They had Guy and Smith for the tobacco and the
right, but there's not like a weed competition.
I bet there is. I'm gonna go down a huge rabbit hole in that later and find out what how you compete with that.
I would ask him, was like, why did he feel the need to like assign like human traits to the king crab and like personify it the way he did?
I just want to know why he doesn't like beach bums. What's wrong with beach bums?
I would ask him why when I click the link on the Wikipedia.
He's not going to be able to help you with the internet.
Well, there's a link to a website called guyandsmith.com, and you go to it, and it's a blank white page that just says soon in regular like small text in the upper left-hand corner.
Oh, he was getting to it. Oh no. Oh no.
Soon.
This is the greatest unfinished work.
We got more information on his life.
That's great.
What?
Let's talk about the book. Daniel. This first chapter.
No.
Okay. It made me laugh. There's something that happens in here that makes me laugh. Can you guess what it is?
In the first chapter, something happens, makes you laugh.
It's the first death scene in the first chapter?
It's very close to it happens right before the first death scene. All right. I'll throw you a crab leg. It has to do with Ian and his fiancée, Julie.
Right. Because I laughed at anything, anytime the word loins was mentioned, There was a stirring in his loins. His loins were fully charged with emotion.
That is so good. I mean, that's amazing.
But I hadn't started taking notes yet. I don't know.
Oh, that's fine. All right. So so Ian is reminiscing about how he's really knocked it out of the park with his fiancee Julie, how she's just drop dead gorgeous. All the other guys will be looking at her, saying all these beautiful things about her. And then once she swims out a little bit far away from him, that's when he has an immediate
doesn't he call her like a dumb bitch?
He calls her, he says, "Stupid bitch, you're out too far."
Yeah.
It's just such a hard turn.
It's, yeah.
I'm like, whoa, cocaine's kicking in or something now.
He can't swim that well.
They're both very good swimmers.
I was just trying to give him an excuse for why he had that flip, and you took it away. He might.
It's the 70s.
Look, this might be a time when men were men and women were second
and women were stupid bitches. The good days.
Those were the days.
I laughed so hard.
I also laughed.
Luckily, she doesn't have to stay in the relationship long enough to find out about that side. They don't have to get into a marriage where he's abusing, because I think they're gonna leave each other here pretty quick.
Well, they get got by something under the water.
Yeah,
under the sea,
and that kicks us off to our whole story of somehow our little professor, Ian and Julie are his lab assistants or something like that.
Ian is his nephew.
Ian is his nephew.
Also his nephew, yeah. And they don't show up after, it's either like a day or half a day, and then he's kind of getting nervous about it.
He calls around, and then like a week goes by, and then he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go down there, put on my Sherlock Holmes hat, and I'm going to solve it.
Because he's a botanist,
supposed to be on
that's what they do.
Yeah. They're supposed to be on vacation, and it's not like them to go no contact and not get back there. Apparently, they're very responsible.
Well, no, they're supposed to show up.
Yeah. So...
But then he gets a visit from the actual police, who say they found their car. I think they found some clothes, maybe, and they haven't found them.
Like the cops say they think
they probably drowned off
and
the
he's
coast.
Like, "Nah, they swimmers.
No,
they're good swimmers."
They're swimmers.
It's like, you know what? How many people have drowned there lately, huh? Oh, lots.
Oh, I bet it's some.
Yeah, I couldn't just be all these people are drowning because ocean danger. Yeah, he's got a place in that town. This must be a good vacation spot for this family, because he already has a little hotel off-camera wink. I like that, sexy stud that you are. And now the lights are freaking out.
I was winking at a ghost, but it got the wrong message.
So he's like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go to this town. I'm gonna find my missing nephew and his dumb bitch fiance.
Oh.
His words, not mine. He never says that. He's a real stand-up guy. But yeah, he's like, I've got a little hotel place that's if you know, you go there.
Oh, and I know it's run by Mrs. Jones. Oh, or
Mrs.
as I call her,
Jones.
Madam Jones, because
calls him Mum.
She could have been a
Mum.
You know what? Like, says this is one step away from being a brothel, and she's one step away from being a madam, because she introduces him to who is it? Who's his squeeze? Julie Benson.
No, sorry.
No,
yes.
No, not Julie Benson.
No. That was Ian's. It's hold on. Shit. Where's my thing? I had a thing with names. Pat Benson.
Pat. There we go.
Pat.
Whose husband has abandoned her, ran away like last year. First question. I need this resolved. It just says that he left her. Are they still married?
She still has the ring on her finger.
It's interesting. So I don't know how polygamy laws work in jolly old England. She's still married. How are her and Cliff going to get married so quickly?
You mean a week from now?
Yeah. Well, it's the natural course of a relationship, Daniel. Once you've gone inch by inch onto the professor, there's no coming back from that sweet river of desire.
There might be, though. Because I've just found out he's in the second and fourth books. Pat? Just in the first one.
Well, this is no job for a woman.
Yeah, he convinces her to stay. Maybe they have a couple kids at this point, and he convinces her to stay home.
That moves quickly, too. They have 3 kids in the span of 6 months.
They're like,
well,
he's a botanist, okay? He can do whatever he
knows
wants.
how to do it.
Ladies, I'm a botanist.
Ladies, my loins are fully charged with emotion.
All right, so he's down on this place. He's got his headquarters. He's gonna go out. He goes onto the beach, and the first thing he sees are like these little claw marks on the sand.
Not little claw marks.
That's true. Not little. They're huge.
Yeah,
and
only they're not little.
Like any rational human being, he immediately makes the logical conclusion: giant crabs. 100%.
We got crabs.
We got
crabs, Daddy.
They have to be the size of sheep and cattle. Yeah, they do. But you know what? I'm Cliff fucking Davenport. Giant crabs.
Hey, he went through the logical progressions. He was like, is there any chance like a boat or some sort of because there's a military base off to the side there. Like, is there any chance this was like a military thing that could have made these marks, or like a boat or something? It's like, there's no way it could be big ass crabs. And that's how we get him later. He's doing a little spy mission, and he thinks he's so sneaky, and he's pointing his binoculars at the military base, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't see anything over there that can do it. But you know what? They see him trying to be sneaky. They're like, yeah, we're taking you in, bub.
They put him in a concrete room to sweat him out for, I guess, it seems longer than it seems like it was a day or a couple, but I guess it was just still the same day, and they let him out on the same day. He was just having a hard time in the sweat, in the hot box, in the boo box.
Of course they let him out, though. This is Professor Cliff Davenport of the tiny, area of the UK. You know how it's really tiny, and everyone knows each other. So everyone knows Professor Cliff Davenport. He knows all the higher-ups in their militaries.
Oh, once he name-dropped Sir Ronald Bradley.
Like, oh shit, we better let you... Oh, why didn't you say you was Cliff Davenport? I thought you looked familiar.
You didn't say you was friends with Ronnie?
Yeah, our Brad, as we call him.
Our Davenport. Shit.
Shit. Yeah, just Cliff knows everybody, man. It's funny. Like, this is such small world. Like, everybody knows everybody there. I don't know. Why is Cliff such a big deal to everyone?
You thought he would have had, like, maybe done something in the war that would have got him recognition, but...
What war?
World War II, you idiot. What do you mean?
But you've already said he's not that old.
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't get his age. It doesn't make any
sense to me. I mean, there are lots of wars. Pick one. The one where
Operation
Reese's
Freedom.
Pieces and Buttercups came at each other, and that was a rough devastating time.
That was a tough one.
It was a rough one.
Perhaps it is the British war on taste.
Oh, very good.
The war on flavor that I hear about.
Ooh, yes. Jolly good laugh, that. Yes, very good. Thank goodness Pat has also seen the marks in the sand, and she's all like, yeah, I've watched a lot of crabs walk across sand. Those were giant crabs. 100% in.
See, here's the thing, right? When you're looking for like a significant other, you want to get someone who's crazy matches your crazy, and that's what we've got here.
Oh yeah, sure. Then you get crazy amplification.
Mm-hmm. Then you can both fuel each other's crazy crab conspiracies.
Warm rivers of desire.
And here's my take. There are no crabs. They are both just crazy. He didn't even have a nephew. He got there and in his mental insanity murdered a beach hobo.
He's not even a professor. He is actually Bartholomew.
Yeah, and he in his mind though, he thinks he's seen crabs do it. And Pat's all aboard. She's distraught because she lost her man, and of course that's gonna send a woman spiraling. Okay, and so she's like, yeah, I seen it too. Crabs everywhere. And then they're so convincing because he's a really good pipe smoker, and that comes with like all sorts of respect. So the military right there, they're all gassed up about this, like, oh heck yeah, crabs. And then like every time they're all round up, he's like, there's the crabs, and they're like, what? Like, just fire. And they start firing, and there's all these like smoke.
I'm pretty sure that's just a rock.
Never see it. Yeah, well, they end up like accidentally shooting each other because now they're all gassed up, and that's how like the military is like dying there. And this whole thing, like,
hold on. Crab 11 was an inside job.
That's what I'm saying. Never forget.
I think one thing this book needed was a map.
Oh, for some geography?
Agree or disagree?
No, I agree, yeah.
No, that would always be helpful.
Also, if they could have said at the very beginning what an estuary was, so that I wouldn't have to look it up. No.
No.
No?
It is. I put it in my notes.
No, that's a
It
tributary.
is a coastal water body where fresh water from rivers and streams mixes with salt water from the ocean, aka
Oh, yeah, I
a
knew
bay.
that.
So there are names
Hey,
of
babe.
locations in this book that you can Google map and actually see what they look like, and that gives you a better idea of the geography of what's happening, where and how far the crabs would have had to move, where they're hiding in the ocean.
We needed like a Middle Earth map.
Map would have been helpful. Yeah.
I mean, you guys could draw that.
No, I can't draw that.
Use a satellite image.
There you go, and just put it together for me, and then send it over, and we'll talk about it.
Could I interest either of you in bathing with me tomorrow?
Now,
No, we better keep clear of the water. You're right. No bathing. No bathing with me tomorrow. Now, I don't know. Our British listener, is this just another term for swimming? As you say, we're gonna go, or maybe it's just like flopping around in the water, bathing.
I think it's like the whole thing, sitting out on the beach, sunbathing, you know?
I mean, when you're covering yourself in anything, I would say you're bathing in it. So, like, if you fell in like a puddle of mud and you're just chilling there, like you're
right,
bathing
but that
in
ain't
mud.
how
So
we
I'd say
talk.
that's no, but this ain't us talking. We don't have.
I'm just
killer
saying,
crabs
you know
here 'cause
how
we'd eat
like
'em.
British singers like hide the accent? They sing with an American accent. So why
only over
why
here.
come he ain't writing with an American accent?
Because this is when men were men, and he didn't have time for your shit. He wasn't writing for you. He was
No,
writing
he's
for him.
100% writing for me.
You weren't even alive,
But he
yet.
knew.
Hey guys, it's crabs, all right.
It's crabs,
crabs.
all right.
It is.
Hey,
It's crabs.
I like highlighted notes in this
You
book,
should
and
look
there's
at
so
my
many times
look at my notes.
where the professor just says, "See this track? Crabs.
crabs,
Oh,
Crabs.
there's missing people in this place.
crabs.
Yep. She's still got a grip on his
Crabs.
hardness.
Crabs.
Oh, economy collapsed. Crabs.
Crabs.
Trouble in the
Look.
Middle East. Crabs.
Crabs."
I appreciate that Pat Benatar immediately believed him.
5 minutes on. Good one. Good joke. Good
that,
joke.
they're like, I believe you. There's crabs, and I'm gonna go look for crabs with you.
Oh, can you do it on the full moon when the moon is bright?
Romantic
yes.
as hell.
On a hot summer night.
When the
Would
crab
you offer your loins to the crabs with the clicking claws?
Yes.
Yes.
We've worked in a meatloaf reference for Ryan.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So he
that's-
should be peas.
That's for everyone. Everyone benefits from
That's for
that.
everyone. Everyone loves a little meatloaf, a little crab loaf. They So look, nobody outside of the professor and Pat, his new instant lady love. Of
Well,
all
he's putting
time,
his arm around her instantly.
Oh, instantly. Nobody else believes that there's crabs, so they're like, we gotta.
Well,
we
hold
gotta
on
prove,
now.
We gotta.
Everyone knows there are crabs. They don't believe that. They don't
Are you
believe there
sure?
are giant crabs.
Well, they haven't told anyone else about giant crabs yet.
Because they don't know if they can even believe it. They need to go see. They need to feast their eyes on some crabs together. So they go do a stakeout on the beach where they think the crabs will be. Because the prints are moving down the coast slowly. Like it's not just all the exact same spot.
They're single file
shifting.
to hide their numbers.
Yeah. So they go sit behind a bush or something and
Oh,
do
do
they hook
they?
up again? Or
Well,
is-
something
yeah.
something happens in
Or
a
is
bush.
this the first time they hook up? I don't know.
Yeah, this
Anyway.
when they go out at night into the dunes, they find a dip, and the passion between them, the emotions just rising too high, where their loins get fully charged with emotion. I don't know why. That line is just great. That's amazing.
Did you just pan your camera down?
How did he do that?
What? There's a setting on Discord you can do where it'll
He's
follow
got the
your
focus
face.
thing on.
Because I figured you guys were like seeing me from like way back there, and I'm like,
Well,
I
it
got
things I
happened
don't
when
want
you
you to
said
see.
your
Let's
loins were
have you
fully
focus on my
charged.
face. Yeah.
This is how you know though that their passion is for real, because we're literally out here where people are getting murdered. We're trying to see what's murdering, but instead, like, you know what? Hey, I'm sorry, nephew and your fiance. Like, I gotta take a moment for
Well,
me.
he hasn't felt this way in a bit. You know.
He didn't think his heart or loins could be stirred, and shaken, not stirred, or stirred, not
Which makes
shaken.
me
one of
think
them.
he's older, because like a younger guy, his loins are getting
Late
stirred
30s.
all over the. No way.
It says
way.
late 30s.
That's where you're putting your Americanism onto him. This is a British man. They're sex is a young man's game, like 18, 19, like
18,
no,
19,
like
you pump out like 6 kids at 18, 19, then you're done.
He's a proper gentleman now, and they don't do.
Nice.
There is
Okay.
a deaf mute man called Bartholomew
Yeah.
who goes and up and down the beach, well, I guess picking up random bits of stuff, and also does odd jobs here and there. And Cliff immediately does not like this guy. He thinks he refers to him as like creepy. Yeah, even though I think it's Miss Jones is like, nah, he's all right. Cliff's just like, I don't trust him.
Well, he doesn't have a job, doesn't pay taxes. What good is he?
I don't trust him. He's disgusting.
We need him to keep the beach clean, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just remembering the time it's like after they hook up, that when they get up out of that dip, and then they see this gross shambling thing coming towards them all zombie-like.
Oh, it's Bartholomew.
Like, yeah, but Cliff is like, oh, I don't want him to spot us. And then shivers run up and down his spine. Oh, because he's walking hobos. Beach hobos. Beach
Sand hobos.
with a shotgun.
It's
a British beach
This
too, so
man-
it's probably not warm.
this man smoked a pipe for 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 31
Okay,
seconds.
no, the author did, not Professor Davenport.
Same guy.
That could be the same guy. And they let Bartholomew get ripped apart by giant crabs.
Well, they can't warn him.
They did.
So
That's true.
this is the thing. This is the only. Yeah, I think Mr. Smith had to do a little rewrite after his first draft. Otherwise, we would have just hated these two because they let the beach bum get just eviscerated right in front of them. So they had to make so many excuses for why they couldn't help him. Like, oh, he's deaf, so they can't scream, or like, if they throw anything, it won't matter. They should. Oh, come on, Cliff.
If this was modern times, he would have been rocking out to his
AirPods
iPod.
are in, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
And that's why they'd be like, "Hey, guy,
Crabs.
crabs, crabs,
Guy,
guy."
there's crabs.
And look, he doesn't go nice and gently. Like they tear his ass apart.
When all the flesh
Poor
had
guy.
gone, you got the crunching of bone because the giant crabs did not believe in waste. That's good. That's good.
Now, do we run away at this point? We don't see king crab yet, right?
I think we do.
King crab's who tears him apart.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, and then feeds it to tears it apart and gives it to the smaller giant crabs.
Yeah, King Crab. Nobody could have doubted the latest arrival's right to rule. Half as big, again, as the rest of those night. That doesn't make sense. As big again. So he's like 1 times 5 the size.
He's King Crab.
He's
Yeah,
King Crab.
He's king crab.
He's the
Look like
very,
crab.
very
Talk
personification
like king.
of evil.
King Crab.
It waddled slowly to the front of the others, its pincers waving menacingly, as though defying any one of them to challenge its authority. King Crab!
Hail to the king, baby. I just want people to understand my right to rule.
Well, you just gotta be bigger than everybody.
Yeah,
Maybe if I pull a sword out of a crab in a lake.
That is
that
not.
could work.
That's not a basis of any government I want to be a part of.
Fair.
Aquaman. Look, there's big ass crabs, and then there's a big ass crab. I bet not even a tank could do any damage to, these crabs.
What we've seen tonight is one of the most terrible sights ever witnessed by human beings.
I've said that so many times in my life.
They'll be back. I've never been so goddamn certain about anything in my life. They have a taste for human blood and flesh and bone. They're not gonna let up now. Everyone's gonna perish.
Hey, look,
It's Resident Evil 2. Everyone's gonna die.
He's so dramatic.
but he's not wrong though.
He's flushed with blood in parts that had laid dormant for so long, Daniel. It's all, you know what I'm saying?
You're lucky he can talk at all
Yeah.
after what that Pat's been doing.
He's only
to him.
35.
Eons, Daniel. Eons. So we got to call our buddy in the military and be like, "Hey, man, look, this is me. This is listen.
It's your boy
Davenport
Cliff.
talking.
You know Cliff.
Take the pipe
So
out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Put your gin
You
down.
know I ain't shitting you, okay? I ain't shitting you. I'm calling you to tell you we got monsters, Daddy. Big old crabs.
crabs. I
And
got crabs,
need
Dad.
you to
Big ones.
I got crabs that we need to mobilize the military for my crabs or this whole town. Look, there's a king crab,
King Crab?
okay?
King
King
Crab?
crab. And I got I got my future wife here.
This is true.
No, you don't know her. I barely know her.
I just met her yesterday.
Tell me one thing about her. One thing.
She let me stick it in.
She let me stick it in.
Inch by inch. Inch by inch, Bradley.
Bradley, you know when I say inch by inch,
that was it.
Those
that
are
was
literally
2 inches.
two different thrusts. That's all the inches, Bradley. It quivered. And I need,
Don't hang up on
the
me,
military
Bradley.
to give it. Bradley, I need you to
Bradley,
get
I
the
have not
military
been
down here
drinking.
because we need to give it to these crabs as hard as I gave it to Pat over there behind that bush while I watched that homeless man get torn apart. I made it seem like this wasn't happening at the same time, but no, that really got my blood pumping, and I had to shoot,
And I did.
and I did. And I screamed, a primal scream into the night. And then King Crab was like,
King
nope.
Crab said,
And he went
he
back
put
into
his
the
little
ocean.
pincers up and he went, my man.
My man. But also, I respect. I ain't messing with you tonight. Let's go back into the water. We got our meat. Now we can have our
Days
pudding.
fucking?
Another
Look,
fun line from this book is Cliff's talking to Pat about how he's not going to leave before the crabs are gone, and probably he's not going to leave because of her. And then the line's like, and besides, he wasn't going to leave Pat Benson on her own. Crabs or no crabs.
Crabs or no crabs?
Look, even you got crabs, no crabs. I'm inch by inch in it, baby. That's just how we
Listen,
are.
these crabs are deadly dangerous.
deadly dangerous. Deadly dangerous.
Blimey.
Look. It's a good thing Cliff has, all this respect of the nation because we get a guy sent down there. Now this guy doesn't respect Cliff. I forget his name, but I forget his name. You guys got the character name here on the general,
Drunky
whatever.
McDrunkard.
But he's immediately like, "Yeah, I need to get my drink on." And look, why would you go out there? You're just a worthless guy. There ain't nothing here. Wasting my goddamn time. Yeah, that Pat, she's a sweet piece, though, right?
Like to make a run at her inch by inch.
Well, she's already spoken for.
We're
Mr.
married.
Man. Cliff got here 8 hours before you. You missed your window. So we get the classic asshole character now who's not going to believe our main characters no matter what, despite all the evidence.
What evidence?
Crab prints.
They got washed away by the tide.
The missing homeless man.
Homeless
people don't just go missing.
are missing.
Yeah.
That's a line from the movie I just watched.
Did we watch the same movie?
There's a train?
Yeah, we watched that movie. It's weird how we watch the same movie sometimes. So how did we finally convince him? They came in and actually attacked the town,
They attacked
right?
the military base.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and they're
right.
trying to
So
shoot
they
at
took
them
the
with
fight
their
to them.
sniper guns and their automatic weapons. And it's just
bullets
poing, 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 poing,
and
poing.
shit were just
Hailstones
off
or
them.
bullets. They were all the same to the giant crabs. They just bounced off.
Now, do you think if they got like some eye shots, though, that might do some damage?
Nah.
I'd be like, my eye is inconvenienced by your little bullet. Now, okay, they're talking about these giant crabs. Like, how big are you guys picturing? Like, okay, king crab is what? The size
I think king crab's the size of a car, and the other crab are the size of like sheep.
Yeah, it does say the sheep size, guessing from the claw marks. Okay. I don't know if we're talking like king crab could be at least like
a small,
two-story house, but I
not
think
like
that was
these
too
big
big.
cars nowadays, but like a
Yeah, so we're not talking kaiju. We're talking
not yet,
just big heckin'
but
crabs.
we'll get there in the future books.
Fair enough. So look, bulletproof, and then do we try to set them on fire?
They don't care about fire either.
Yeah, which I think that's weird because you can literally cook crabs, and just because they're big, I don't think we could. Like, I think we could still cook these crabs. I would still eat these crabs. I don't care if they're just 8 people. I'm still eating the crab. I'm not going to eat the contents of their stomach, dog. Well, maybe it's okay then. I don't know.
Blimey. Christ. Fucking crab.
Okay, so now the military believes because the crabs made them believe.
You best start believing in crab stories.
You're in one. So now we start to fortify the town, and we're like, yeah, we need more help. These are big monsters, Daddy, and what we got, it ain't cutting it. Now, Cliff is noticing there's a pattern, though.
So before this, I want to call out a line that stood out to me right before they bone again, this time in their room.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
It's, at last, he stood before her as Adam had once stood before Eve, tempting her to tempt him.
I think she was already tempting him.
I think she was already... I'm trying to find it, because I think this moment is foreshadowed a bit in something he says
Oh yeah, it's
earlier
foreshadowed in the Bible.
I remember that story. There was the snake. There was the tree.
The crab.
There were crabs in the trees. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Adam fucked a crab.
It could be this. It could be the other line Daniel has before that written down. The above it all, though, they sense the prospect of sweet, tender human
about the
flesh.
crabs.
That is, but that could also be about Cliff.
Oh, they're not so different.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is rock hard the entire time I'm reading this book. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Quivering member, slight upward curve. That's like, don't worry.
Slight upward curve. I was waiting for one of you to make this connection. I was waiting. I didn't want to be the one to do it. One of our favorite Charlene Harris series. What was that? The
Harper Connolly.
She's a librarian?
No.
That's a different
one.
That's Harper Collins.
Slight upward curve. Yeah, no cable for you. HBO based Slight upward.
HBO.
I think True Blood had already been bought at that point.
Yeah. Now this isn't the last time those two hook up, and don't be disappointed. They got at least one more in them, I think. Yeah. So Cliff is determined that they come up with the tide and the full moon and all that jazz, which makes us think that there's a lot of time passing between these scenes.
Well,
because obviously a full moon isn't every single night.
Full moon. It's just moon, so there can't be any clouds.
I assumed it was just tidal based with the moon, and even if there's clouds, that's not going to fuck off the moon.
Hey man, you might know moon, but I don't know moon. You know.
So you think it was a light,
it's
of,
a
the
light
moon
of the moon
thing?
But the moon doesn't have light; it's sunlight.
But it's not as direct.
Look, as the old saying goes, it's an ill wind that blows nobody any good.
Who's getting blown?
Us by the ill wind. I think ill wind was down by Hand Street Alley. If you ever walk down that way.
What? Camera just moved.
It's
again.
next to Mrs. Jones's Madame Brothel on the island. All right. I don't know. Also, I think his friend who comes down is Grisdale.
Yeah. That's a good name too.
So this book name drops Sir Ronald Bradley, but fuck that guy. He's never brought up again. So let's go to a different guy who's military, and we'll bring him down. And he's all like, "All right, what we need to do? We're gonna go into the water."
Do you guys listen to music while you read books?
No.
Interesting.
Not when I have to pay attention.
Because I do. So like every book that I read has like a soundtrack to it. And, and the soundtrack to this book was the Attack on Titan soundtrack.
Nerd. I thought you were gonna say it was 45. By is that Shinedown? Maybe.
But like Godzilla, any Godzilla soundtrack would have worked also, I feel.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Sure. I like this.
Or just straight on loop. Bum chicka wow wow. Some smooth, sexy jazz. Because look, there's just as much fucking as there is fighting.
There's.
Oh God. Listeners, you won't be able to hear this yet. But
ever.
A recent update to Discord has given us access to a soundboard that we can hear, but you cannot. And it is probably the worst thing they've ever given us. The
technology exists. We just have to put it into motion.
Yeah, but we just got some sexy saxophone played by Daniel. It was great. You'll never know.
I'd like you to explain to me how Mr. Davenport knows so much about crabs and also happens to be a scuba diver and is just perfectly fine, like sticking explosives into a cavern.
He's James Bond.
This explains everything, Daniel. Yes.
I'm gonna go to the bomb portion. I don't necessarily have an answer for this, but you keep referring to him as a botanist. He is listed everywhere else as a marine biologist.
Botanist.
Botanist is plants, dog.
I would not have written something down incorrectly. That is just impossible to do.
I mean, you got the book right there. You can go look.
Control F.
But
botanist.
I'm just like, as soon as you said it is why I started pulling things up, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't think he was a botanist, but also I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
That one lady in Jurassic Park was a paleobotanist.
That's an easy way to be like, yeah, I'm an expert in these things that don't exist anymore and nobody cares about, so nobody's going to check me on it.
Wow.
Who cares about plants that existed millions of years ago when
Well,
you got dinosaurs?
it's important because you learn about them, and then it's like, oh, okay, so these plants something CO2 levels back in the day. There you go.
Yeah, which just comes back to the dinosaurs. So you're just like a DLC for the dinosaur.
Yeah, you
doctors.
kind of are a DLC for a Dino Doc. A Jurassic Park soundtrack would have worked as well.
So,
I think.
I think Grisdale is
a botanist.
is addressing the town or someone, and he's saying, this is Professor Davenport. He's a well-known marine. He calls him a marine biologist. However, nowhere else is this ever referenced or told to us at all. Now, I did just do a search for botanist and couldn't find anything, so I don't know where I came up with that. I think that's a fan theory I had that I'm trying to sneak into your brains inch
really
by inch.
badass?
The botany thing, because it does come up when they use the weed killing stuff, right?
Right, maybe let me change my search terms.
Plant
Professor
guy.
Davenport.
He wears many hats.
No matter what we say he is, yeah, he knows everything. So if we got him saying like, okay, let's go diving, we're gonna find these crabs.
There's another attack before that.
It's the attack on the military base, and then they attack on the town.
At
that goes
1:25 a.m., the invasion of Barmouth began. The waning moonlight was in the crab's favor. A few nights ago, they would have been spotted earlier. Not that the outcome would have been any different.
Nope, it would not have, because they can throw tanks.
Why weren't they spotted earlier? Is it because of cloud cover? And if that's the case, then your moonlight theory is bullshit.
It's not a they say it in the book.
It's
not about the moon. It's about...
It's not about the moon. They come out really... They just look. They're covered in muck. They're hard to see at night.
Muck.
Would you say that these are mud crabs?
Oh, fuck.
And that's why Cliff was like, I want to stay a while in mud crab. In your bush, Pat.
Your classic Deckard Cain.
Oh. No, the audience knew what I was doing. Don't worry about it.
I know what he's doing.
I knew what you're really doing, and I told them.
Stay a while in mud crab.
Stay a while.
Inch by inch, mud crab. I can't find any reference to him being a botanist at all.
That's because he's not a botanist.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, but the only person to ever call him a marine biologist, I think, is Grisdale, and he's just like, yeah, he's well known.
Well, he is. We know he's a professor for sure, unless his parents named him.
Professors are good for everything.
Unless
they
named him Professor, which I'm going to name my kid Professor.
All right, let's talk about the beauty. So, if this is a movie, this is the scene where you're supposed to, like, because he dives under the water, he's walking around, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to check out this random cave. Because what are the odds it's this cave? He walks in, takes a left turn, takes a right. He's like, wow, this is a really thing. And then he goes in and holy shit, it's a cavern of crabs.
It's that bit in the American Godzilla 2000 where you go in that sewer underground area and it's all the eggs everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that. Like, that peek over reveal. Like, oh shit, turns off the flashlight real quick. Hope they didn't see me. So he found where the crabs. He's
found
sleeping.
The vampire den.
And you know what? Maybe not all the crabs are sleeping because one comes out of the tunnel that he was just in and kind of settles down next to him.
Crab.
Kind of nuzzles up to him.
He's a sentry cat. He comes in, cuddles right next to his sack, and he's like hiding in a crevice in the wall. He's like, oh, I'm scared now. I'm like, this is okay. Yeah.
And he like, okay, well, either I stay down here and I run out of air or I try to swim past him and get out of here. Now, while this is going on, back on the boat, Pat's there, because Pat ain't leaving her man. And then a couple other divers and whatnot. And we're like, well, he's going to run out of air soon. Maybe someone else should go down there.
Yeah, let's send another body down.
So another swimmer goes down there and finds the cave, and he finds a crab, too. Now, when I first read this, I went through it, I thought the professor swam right by the guy and just was booking it and led the crab right into him.
That'd be funny.
But because they wrote it like the guy's like, oh, it's the professor, but it was actually a crab. So the professor came out of another.
Well, hold on, this could be a professor crab.
No, I think the professor did. Yeah, it could be. Came out of that hole, but what happened is
the professor's still in there.
Another crab. Yeah, the other crab came out, chomped this guy, like chomped his leg off. He's still trying to swim. His body surfaces. So they see that body. They immediately think, oh, well, if he's dead, the professor's dead. So then they nope the fuck out of there. trying to get him to help, even though he's already dead. So when the professor finally surfaces, sees the boat's gone, he's like, these motherfuckers
he was
just
mad.
left me.
Big mad.
So he swims ashore, does some walking around, busts into the military compound again, I think. And he's like, yeah. And they're like, who are you? He's like, who am I? Professor goddamn Cliff Davenport.
I've been doing underwater with giant crabs. Who am I?
Guys, it's Davenport.
You just left me. Where the fuck is Pat? Oh, we told her you're dead. She's back.
She got a new man in the 6 minutes that you've been gone. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it ends up being longer because instead of calling over there and letting her know that he's alive, he has to sit there and talk about what happened for a while first. So it's hours later before he
if it's
goes
been
back
hours,
to,
then she's already moved on.
Yeah, she's moved on. Second man she's lost like this in like a week.
She's playing inch by inch with another person at the house, probably.
It's the house.
You guys want to play inch by inch with me later?
That's what I'm going to call it next time.
Inch by
hey,
inch.
baby. How about,
half inch by
kids
half
are in
inch
bed.
in my case.
Inch by inch.
Yeah, the geckos ain't watching. Yeah, so he's like, look, I found
it's
their
a
cave.
full crab moon night.
A small explosive, we can collapse the cave on them. It'll be fine. Okay, I gotta go back. Pat needs some loving.
I think this is dumb.
Yes.
I understand a lot of these characters are dumb, but this is just dumb. Because even Cliff's like, so we're going to take this mine, basically. We're going to collapse the entrance to the cave, right? So they can't get out.
So they can't
They're
get out
stuck
of the
now,
cave.
right? Can't get out of the cave. Although, he's only he didn't search it with his torch.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know if it has more entries and exits into this place. They're just like, oh, let's blow it up.
Well, I mean, it's
done.
better
Right,
than what the other people wanted to do. They wanted to nuke it, and that's you want a Godzilla?
Yeah,
that's how you get one.
I think
that's how you get. You want to make them bigger crabs?
Underground nuclear explosion would have been the way to go.
No,
go big or go Cthulhu.
I don't think they had the technology for a precision.
No, they would have had to actually take the bomb, have Cliff do his little flipper swimmer as he's guiding it into there. Also, I think he's described as an experienced cave diver, except when he goes into that cave, he doesn't bring a rope.
Yeah.
Or to tie his to the entrance to make your way out. He doesn't know how many.
He ain't a rookie.
He's just lucky that there weren't any twists and turns into the entrance of that underground cavern. Otherwise, his ass would have drowned. Okay.
Look, that's Cliff Davenport, buddy. So you need to get Davenport. Over it. So he gives his lady some sweet loving because he doesn't even clean off. He goes right into it because she thought he was dead. So of course they're gonna go right into it in Pound Town. Now the next day he's like, nah, you ain't coming. I'm going down there. I'm gonna blow this thing up. Put a timer on it. So he swims down there, puts a bomb in it. They get on the boat. They leave. They go back. Everyone's just chilling. Hey, look, tomorrow we're gonna be in our new life together.
And we're gonna get married.
We won't even hear the explosion. We don't even know if the mine went off. But we're like, no, it's fine. They're all dead. Everything, crisis averted. Hey, everyone leave. Military, go back to whatever you're doing. If you weren't here before, get out of here. You're gone. We're good. We're fine. But we're not, because we didn't confirm kills or nothing. And turns out, crabs, another entrance, popping out right in the sheep field.
I hate it when my crabs pop out of the sheep field.
Yeah, they're still there.
So
Well,
inconvenient.
crap. Now we got to find out how to stop them again. But you know what? We can't because, we suck.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they said. Aw, man. Yeah. We have all this military technology. We have all this tanks. The drunk military guy from before, I think he comes back and he's like, you just weren't shooting the tanks properly.
He's like,
you don't know how to shoot your tanks. You didn't have
the mortar in the correct spot. You only had one tank, bro. You put me in charge of this shit, gonna be done. I would have ended World War II day one, bro. Had I been in there, old Adolf wouldn't have even started none.
I mean, he heard I enlisted.
He killed himself to get away from me because what's my name? I'm worse than death. I'm
Grizzlebub.
No, not Grizzlebub, the drunk one.
Oh, the drunky
I'm Drunky
face.
McDrunkerson.
Yeah, and I'm here to drunk stuff.
And I does.
Cliff has seen a beach man ripped apart.
Uh-huh.
Cliff has seen giant crabs.
Uh-huh.
Cliff has seen terrible, horrible things.
The worst things humankind has ever seen.
However, then he tells Pat there is something positively terrifying in asking a woman straight out if she will marry you.
Yeah, because what if she says no?
Oh no!
What if this
no.
woman
She's taking
I've
every
known
inch
for
of
a
this
week
man,
says
okay?
no?
My knees are knocking.
She would
I feel
never.
like I'm gonna faint because
I got the
I'm
papers.
asking you to the prom and I got a zit on my nose. And what if you say no?
All these military men are gonna laugh at me.
Those other army men won't let me onto their base. Oh, Cliff.
Look, we don't get to go be married because the crabs, they're attacked.
What, old Cliff? I've been waiting for you to ask me this since I first laid eyes on you in tavern. Yes.
8 hours ago.
I say yes. That's what she
Yes.
talks like. I've just decided, and he's into
Yeah,
it.
look, love is a battlefield, and the crabs have turned their love into the battlefield because the crabs, it's personal now. They didn't like the fight being brought to them, so now they are tearing these towns up. The tanks, guess what? Still ain't doing shit. We got choppers. We got Chopper Dave Ho.
They're looking for the crabs. Where are the crabs? No one knows where the crabs are. Are they
No
still
one
here?
knows.
I don't fucking know. But then there's like a train thing that happens. Chugga 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 chugga.
Oh, yeah.
And the train guy crab shambles up onto the train. This crab's like, I'm gonna fucking run this bitch ass crab over my goddamn train. I don't give a fuck. But you know what crab does? Crab flips Trank into the estuary, which is a bay.
Well, it's after we get this weird side nightmare that the train conductor always has about going over that bridge. Like, I'm gonna go in the water but drown. It fucking happens. And then there's just a nice
Trains
little
can go
canned meaty
backwards,
snack
right?
for all them
Can
crabs.
trains go backwards?
If they have an engine on the back end facing the other way, maybe they can do it without that.
I'm
this
thinking
day
you
and
just
age,
shift
but
that bad boy in reverse and be like,
I don't think think you could do that.
I don't think you
Big
can do
D.
that. I think you have to have the other engine at the back pointing the other direction.
Trains are
At least
really
back
heavy.
in those days.
not as heavy as crab.
Inch by inch.
So this book has some really interesting, I'll call it set
It's a set piece.
pieces.
Yeah.
So one of it's going to be when we make this movie, it's going to be the train coming over the estuary on the bridge, the crabs somehow cutting it down and the train falling down. And that's a beautiful scene. Then we got the scene where the crabs are just coming onto the beach and taking over the military. Really cool. And then we'll have the scene later when we find out, they're really been hiding in the estuary and they go out single fire one by one out of the mud, just ripping everyone to shreds. It's really good. It's the bloody crabs. Bloody crabs.
Bloody crabs. So, yeah, the crabs are still winning.
Well, that's what King Crab was waiting for, the professor commented. He's the most cunning enemy the world has ever met. He doesn't intend to confine himself to the Welsh coast alone. I'd stake my bank balance on that.
That's all right by me, Professor.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can get plenty of men who'll go down.
Jesus. Now, is it Pat that's looking at something gotta watch out for these chemicals or something?
She reads an article.
So they're reading
the
the newspaper together. He's reading the headline, which is killer crabs. And she's doing a crossword puzzle. And oh no, a kid died from drinking this this weed pesticide bullshit.
Pesticide or whatever.
And then he's like, wait a second.
That shit kills
that'll
anything.
kill anything.
Yeah, we got to get some of that. Let's go to Orshlands and pick up, a couple gallons of this stuff.
Perspective of the guy who delivers the weed eater bullshit or whatever.
Yes, this
They
is who.
force him into the helicopter to spray. We need you to spray this shit from a helicopter.
Dude, I'm the delivery driver.
I just drive the truck, dude.
Yeah, but you know how to use
No,
this.
I just-
Bro,
send it to
I just drive the
This is my
truck.
summer job, bro. My uncle owns a company.
Yeah, but look, he knew. He's like, nah, make it a thicker mist. Now, when the helicopter's like, let's fly down a little closer. No. They're gonna reach up and just pitch you out
this
of the
is a
sky.
scene in the movie where we get crabs trying to make a ladder out of themselves and trying to
yes.
this. Yeah, man, we do it with stop animation.
No, we
Stop
do it with
motion
crabs.
animation.
Gosh.
We do it with real live crabs because they'll do it. They'll do it. You put a helicopter up above them, they try to get it. They do. It's in their nature because they're
fucking
evil.
Works though. They spray the crabs with the pesticide, and King Crab's like, "Oh fuck, get back in the water, you idiots! Let's go!" And King Crab's taking the blunt up. Cliff's like, "You're gonna fucking take this. Are you gonna take this? You're gonna take this." Fucking hosing him down. Stay on the King Crab. And the King Crab's like, "Arr!" And he knows, and he's pissed. This is a lifetime. This is gonna be Crabs 2, the revenge. Where Jaws travels across the ocean to find the same family to fuck with them again, even though they died in the first one. But anyway,
Well, Well, here's what he says. It's with a supreme effort, King Crab turned back and shambled amongst his demoralized followers. Like robots, they followed in the wake of the one whom they believed to be the supreme being. A claw was raised, a gesture of defiance, an expression of unbelievable malignance. He might be thwarted, but he refused to concede. He moved, scarcely able to drag himself down to the edge of the lapping water. Then he was gone, with scarcely a ripple to show that he had ever been. King Crab out?
Yeah, King Crab just flicked everyone off before he went back into the water. That's what that was. He gave him the claw.
And for the second time in 2 days, they're like, yep, they're dead. So we can move on with our lives. They're clear. That killed them. They're going to die. They're dead. But also, I think it's just sad because, well, whom they believe to be the supreme being, their faith in King Crab is shook.
Well, I mean,
they no longer believe. Now they know that Cliff
is the supreme being.
He's top crab.
He's top crab.
Top crab.
Cliff is top crab. Cliff Davenport is the top crab around here. Now, Cliff is talking to her because they're like, I wonder if we'll ever find the bodies. And he's like, elephant burial grounds, you don't actually find the elephants. And Pat just yawns at him. And I'm like, thank you, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Pat is bored now. Thing. Crabs are gone. Pat is bored. What if you squeezed your lady's thigh every 5 minutes like Cliff Davenport does in this book?
I only do it when other men are around to let them know, hey, this mine.
Oh,
well, that's what I do. I squeeze the man's thigh and I look him in the eye and go, hey, that's mine. Sometimes it's upper thigh.
Perhaps it's better not to know, he replied. The secrets of the deep are better left undisturbed. I think in this case, you probably want to find out to make sure that there's, not 10 more books of crabs killing people.
Yeah, horror writers, listen up. Confirm your kills, or your characters are always going to be dumb. But also, Kenny, listen up. If they do that, we don't get more. We have to have slightly dumb characters to extend the stories, okay? Get off their jocks. Sorry.
I'm squeezing your thigh right now.
Let us
squeeze it real hard.
Let us speculate now. Okay. Are you willing to commit to reading more of these?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we haven't.
I'll even say so this. Far, it won't take me 6 months to read another one like it did this one.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think we're going to end up as sad in the middle of this series as we have been in the Friday series.
Oh my God. What if the quality goes up?
Well, so we don't get the origin story in this book. All we get is after mayhem.
No, we get that in Origin of the Crabs.
Okay, so let's start speculating now.
Well,
Where did these crabs come from?
I think I know because I'm pretty sure
outer space aliens.
Because I've read more than one.
You don't remember?
I think I do though.
I mean, did you read Origins?
Wait, you read more of these
did read
books?
Origin.
Oh,
in high school I read these.
I remember I read one of these, and the only thing I remember from it was a crab clipped someone's
his erect penis. Yeah.
I think it just clicked his sack and his testicles spilled out on the beach, and then the crab scuttled. He scuttled back into the
depths. His work here was done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and I'm like, ooh, precision.
Well, the one I'm most looking forward to, I think, is Crabs the Human Sacrifice, because the cover is like a crab like holding a sword up in the air and its pincher with like blood coming off of it, and then there's like
there can be only one king crab, am I right? Yeah.
So I think it's something boring like just nuclear testing.
Oh, I'm sticking
Godzilla.
with alien.
Yeah.
Until I write it down incorrectly and call them botanists.
It's goddamn
They're botanist crabs.
Space botanist. Goddamn space botanist.
Where did I get botanist?
You had a stroke or something.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Look, I like this book. I would love for them to make a crab cinematic universe. I think the world needs it. Yes. Good book. Go find this book. Go read this book.
You can do it in about 2 hours, according to Daniel.
Did it take you guys longer than that? Did my book have missing pages?
It took me a little bit longer than that, yeah. I think you might read faster than I do.
Yeah, like I said, I also did mine like in 20-minute chunks because my children's homework is 20 minutes of reading after school, so I would just read with them.
Aren't they supposed to read? 20 minutes of reading?
Well, no, they read their books.
This is the part where
we were in the same area.
I thought you were reading the beach, children.
I thought you were reading this to them.
Quivering member children. Do you know what quivering means?
Clickety click.
Clickety clack, motherfucker.
Don't look
That's
back.
what King Crab sounds like.
King Crab?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped for this series. I would, like I said, I would read these. I would watch these. I think that'd be fun. I want to see Cliff Davenport on the silver screen.
Who would you cast as Cliff Davenport?
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds.
there you go. No, who's a good British
Oh, he's got to
person?
be British?
Hiddleston.
Loki?
Tom Hiddleston. Loki.
Not old enough.
Or Magneto. I'm blanking on his name.
Fassbender.
Fassbender. Michael Fassbender.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Okay, no, we get Sir
Hanks.
Patrick Stewart for the drunk general who comes in and dismisses everything.
Okay.
And then has to come back and yell at everyone incompetent. That's the role I'd want. It's just the
Danny DeVito's the king crab.
Danny DeVito is the king crab.
You put the which restaurant has the crab bib? Is that Red Lobster or
They used to, yeah. I don't know if they still do that.
Okay, that's all the.
That's probably a lobster bib.
That's
though.
the extent of his costume. Is just the lobster bib on it, and he's
but it's as a lobster.
He's out there. Maybe he's got some.
Does Ryan know that lobsters and crabs are different?
Oh, I had a completely different image in my head about what was going on. My goodness.
Mike, how embarrassing.
How embarrassing.
It's botanist all over.
It's botanist all over again.
Do you want to do our spoof on this? Is it lobsters?
Lobsters and it's botanists who save the day.
It's lobsters, botanists, and potting soil. There's something to do with potting soil.
Mm.
I mean, basically, this is the... Okay, instead of like chemical ending, it's like War of the Worlds ending where you just get a bug in your system and die.
Well, we don't know they died. In fact, I think the salt ocean water just washed that shit off of them.
Oh,
and maybe all the fish around them died.
Yeah, this is a
marine life is fucked over there now.
In Godzilla, them dropping the oxygen destroyer bomb into the ocean to kill Godzilla, but it ends up creating a worse monster that you then need Godzilla to fight.
Famine?
Salmon, that's right.
No,
salmon.
Not salmon. Famine.
Salmon.
Because it killed all the fish, and now we don't have fish to eat. Oh my God, Daniel. Salmon. Actually, to be fair,
salmon.
You ever had a salmon jump out of the lake and smack you in the face?
You got to punch it first. That's your boxer training. You got to go right at it. You got to be prepared, and you just swat, punch, kick. It's all in the mind.
If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find.
Does anyone else have anything else to say about crabs before we wrap this up? Night of the Crabs.
I am thankful that it's a quick read. I think if it was more wordy, that would be a problem.
It's exactly as descriptive as it needs to be.
Yes.
It's great. It's perfect B horror schlock.
I could have done without the romance thing.
I disagree.
Nah, you needed it. There's lots of movies we've got coming up in this October marathon here that would be great companions to this. Zombievers. Frankenfish. Stuff like that would be good. I'm going to recommend you go check out The Blob. Either the original or the remake. They're both fun. And then obviously just continue along this series with us. We will be attempting to do this in our second season.
Clickety-clack. Clickety-clack.
Clickety-clack. Well,
I guess I should bang one out on the sand dunes in front of these crabs.
I'm your co-host Daniel, and I'm scuttling back into the depths.
As always, I'm your horrible host who says, don't talk to your heroes about their heroes and mistake that they are still alive when they've been dead for 2 years. Kenny. Or
I already scuttled back into the depths. I'm not even here anymore.
His fist is still in the air.
I've been your stupid bitch botanist, Ryan.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Clickety clack.
Nip that sack.